What it is, what it ain't. Hey, man, listen. Peggy, I would typically hit you with all the antics and screaming and hollering and screaming. But we ain't got to do that, brocious.
Nah.
We got a treat for the fans. And this is something that, bro, I'm grateful. I'm excited. It's not even about being a fanboy in this particular situation. It's like, yo, bro, you made us proud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you made us proud. Tell the people what we got going on.
Man, we got a treat for the fans today, man. We got a champion, man. A man from Omaha, Nebraska. He is a 3-division undisputed champion. He just won a super middleweight championship. He is 42-0 with 31 knockouts, and he has made history, all right? Being the first undisputed champion in 2 different weight classes. Terence, Bud, Crawford, welcome to 4th and 1, my man. The champ is here.
You know what I'm saying?
The champ is here.
Yes, sir.
3 weight classes, though.
3 weight classes.
Get it right, Peggy.
My bad, look. Tell Google it's not my fault, it's Google. 3 weight classes as the undisputed champion, bro. Hey, don't hurt me, brother.
You know
don't hurt me, bro.
He can fight.
He can fight.
He can fight. We see that. Hey, my first question is this, Bud. Did the check clear?
Did the check clear? Yeah, it cleared.
Yeah, and in that dynamic, all right, so from the fans' perspective, not to get all into the logistics or the legalities of that, from my standpoint as an athlete, Tuesdays was our day. Coming off of every single fight that you've had, obviously you've never took a loss. And with this magnitude of a fight, when typically does the money clear? Is it 30 days? Is it net 7? Is it the next day? What does that look like?
Before I fight, the money is already there.
Wow. So even but it changes obviously due to the dynamic of you winning. Like you get extra on top of that.
Nah, it just depends. You know what I mean? Like some people get win bonuses. You know what I mean, for certain fights. Like it was a knockout bonus for $1 million for our fight. You know, but it wasn't no knockout in that fight, so it's not a win bonus.
So for me, there was a lot of reports asked, leading up into the fight, what Canelo took, what you took, who comes up with these type of structures, and it was evident that you wanted this fight, right? When you see certain reports and they're not true, or you see certain reports and they are true and it's leaked, talk to us about how that is in your approach going through it.
I really don't get all up into it for the most part, especially because 99% of, what the media and what people is talking about and putting out there ain't true, and the thing that is true, you kind of shake your head like, how they know that?
Yeah.
So, if it's true, you can't argue the truth. You just be like, I didn't know that. And then you start looking around like, who the fuck done said that?
Yeah.
Bro, I think Netflix did an unbelievable job, with the lead up. And I'm always intrigued about going behind the scenes. What they did for the 2-part documentary showed you in a light that it was like, okay, cool. But what was the most disrespectful thing in your mental as this fight was happening?
When people said that he was going to knock me out in like 3 rounds, and I was too small. I looked at that as disrespectful. You know what I mean? Because like I never been dropped, never been, knocked out before. So what makes you think, that I was going to get knocked out, Saturday? I think people was disrespecting and discrediting my skills and my skill set, just because Canelo is an all-time great. But like I said before, he hasn't fought Terence Crawford yet.
But give me 1 second, Perry. I think when you're in that mode of fighting, combat sports, right? I remember you talking about Earl Spence, and you was like, that's all you got? Like when he hit you, you know what I'm saying? It was like, boom. Was there a point in this game, in this fight, that you said, "Oh, he can't hurt me"?
For sure. I think it was like literally, no lie, it was probably like the second round, second round.
What?
You know what I mean? I was like, he don't punch as hard as everybody say, but you still got to be cautious because, you know what I mean, as a professional and him being, around for as long as he been around,
Yeah.
I'm in my mind, I'm like, yeah, he trying
to play you,
make me fall asleep.
Yeah.
He trying to make me, hit me with these punches that's not too hard, and then come, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, I could take that, and then he come with a hard shot, like, boom, gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was definitely aware and cautious, and you know what I mean, just fighting my fight,
So when you talk about like fighting your fight, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just saying, once the fight settled in, then it was just, nothing he can do then.
But that's to my point. You said nothing he can do then, and obviously you got that dog in you, But when in the fight, and you said the second round he hit you, and you're like, dang, it's not like what I thought it was gonna be. But when did you realize, like, I'm the big dog here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in control of this fight.
I was in control from round one.
Mm-hmm.
When I felt like I won the first, 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Easy. So, I was already in control. I believe I would have gave him the 5th round because he came back strong. But then I came back, he was stronger in the 6th round.
No.
I think from a fan's perspective, as you're watching a fight unravel or unfold, right, and you say certain things that dumb it down for the people who really don't know. When you say when the fight settles in, do you have different moments where you're like, okay, after the 3rd round, after the 6th round, after this particular round, or after this particular happens, and it's a follow-up to that, but what does that look like from your perspective as the fighter?
Oh, as a fighter, once you get to another fighter rhythm, once, you didn't win a couple of rounds, you got your sweat worked up, everything is already, nerves is down, the fight really kind of slows down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it starts settling in, like everything, what's going to happen is going to happen.
Right.
You're more adjusted to that fighter. You know what to expect, things like that. You know how fast he is. You know how strong he is. At that point in time, the fight is already, in your mind is going to play out how it's going to play out, unless this fighter is capable of making adjustments on the fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So to that point, and I want to kind of go back to something where you were saying you felt disrespected, right? As if you were to get knocked out, or people saying that you were going to get knocked out. Do you know why people could say that? And if you don't or do, well, answer that first.
Yeah, people can say it because everybody have their own opinion. That's the thing with any sport.
Yeah.
Everybody can say, oh, if I was doing this, or he should have did that, or they should have did this, but they not the one in the hot seat, taking the punches or playing the sport.
Yeah. I would say to that point, but you are probably the most quiet assassin that this sport has probably seen in the modern era. Typically, we're used to the rah-rah type of guy. I'm going to whoop your ass. I'm going to beat your ass. The Floyds of the world. And the bravado that comes with you feeling like you are the best. That's not who you are. As I was talking about it, as the fight, as I was watching, I was like, bro, this dude is really a sensei, or really a sniper, just with the accuracy and just him not being bothered or faltering, to this platform. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen you enough to know, like, bro, what people don't like about a Bud Crawford is he really don't pander into the rah-rah. You know what I'm saying? There was never a moment in time where you had a stare down and, yeah, y'all got the nudging and pushing, but it wasn't extreme. Like we've seen fighters in different combat situations really do. And some would say that's just to sell the fight, but that's not who you are. And what would you say to the people who look at your mild mannerism or characteristic and say, you don't always have to be what people expect you to be?
My thing is, we in the entertainment business. Mm-hmm. You know, boxing, you gotta entertain as well. You know, and I'm a very respectable guy, you know, and I respect all, you know, because at the end of the day, we're all doing it for the same reason. Mm-hmm. You know, we all trying to be great. We all trying to, you know, feed our family and things like that. But I'm gonna perform where is counted at. You know, you see a lot of people, they do all the talking, they do all this rah-rah, they do all this pushing, and they will the fans in and they disappoint them. Yeah. Then the fans turn their back on them and then they crash them. You know, anything that they do, the fans are crashing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you see these athletes go in these big depression modes and, you know, they start, you know, drinking. It just breaks them because they hear and then they take a loss or something happen and then the fans all turn their back on them. They tarnish everything that they did. Now they hear it. Now they have to rock bottom, and nobody's there to help them or pick them up. But they family, and they probably, you know what I mean, got to a point where they think they better than their family. Yeah. So they done lost everything just by, you know, the ego and, you know, everybody selling them false dreams. So I'm just a firm believer, and I'm myself. If you don't like me for who I am, then so be it. It's cool. I'm not about to act like a monkey. I'm not about to, you know what I mean, act all out of character just to entertain y'all. But when that bell ring, that's when I'm going to do the entertaining. Because y'all want to see people get their ass whooped. Y'all want to see knockouts. That's what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? And then after that, I'm going to shake my opponent's hand. I'm going to be respectful because at the end of the day, it's a sport.
So as you talked about family, even in that case, just to go back to your origin, and a lot of times we've seen clips of like your mom and y'all dynamic, but just take us through the dynamic between, you know, you and your mom and just how you prepared to be a fighter in life overall.
Man, my mom, my dog, that's my girl. My mom, man, like I wouldn't be who I am without my mom. Yeah, you know, she's the one that made this person that you see today. Because the things that I went with my mom, it built toughness. Mm-hmm. So I can't get distracted by nothing because she did that. So I'm here. Like I hear all this, you can do this, you can do that, but my eyes never is distracted off the mission, you know, because that's how my mom, you know what I mean, built me.
Like there's a clip that's online, right? And as we were preparing for the show, the thing that we were talking about was there's a level of, I didn't know if that was resentment that you had towards your mom when the clip of your mom saying that I give anybody $10 to knock out my son. And the question was then asked, how did that make you feel? Like devastated. You know what I'm saying? Like you was distraught. And I didn't know to cipher that with the any resentment towards your mom, but to hear this, it's more like, okay, that was just, you know, a motivating tactic to get you, you know what I'm saying, to the level that you are right now.
It was just competition. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you know, when your mom is, you know, asking little kids, hey, you can beat them up, I'll give you $10. But at the same time, we all looking at it the wrong way. Yeah. My mom knew she had the baddest boy on the block. So she was challenging them. Like, hey, y'all think y'all can whoop my son? I'll give y'all $10. Let's see if y'all can whoop him. You know, so of course, as a kid, we not processing that. We like, damn, mom, you betting against me? Oh, I'm about to whoop him since you betting against me.
Because I can't whoop you.
Yeah. I'm gonna take it out on them.
I'm really not about to lose in front of my mama.
Thanks.
You know what I mean? So as you get older, you be like, And she knew I was gonna win. She just was challenging me, you know what I mean? And challenging them to push me to be great. You know what I mean? Let's see if you can whoop my son. Knowing my son about to whoop you time and time again, my son about to whoop you.
So I'm like, there was one thing that I was extremely like paying close attention to as I was watching this fight. And I'm a fight fan. I would prefer boxing before UFC any day. And the reason is I look at it like anybody can really fight. UFC to me is submission. You're a submission away from tapping out. Well, boxing it's a series of events that you got to say, okay, my hook not landing, my jab, man, let me go unorthodox, and then let me go southpaw. Hey, let me make in-game adjustments. But as I was looking at this fight, and I'm always intrigued to see good fighters transform into great fighters, and how do they handle the moment? We've seen that you guys had box office numbers with the energy in the stadium. Y'all packed out a stadium that the Las Vegas Raiders couldn't even really pack out to that magnitude. You know what I'm saying? What was the energy like, and what was that to you where it's like, oh, it's different? Or was that even something that you even thought of in that moment?
Well, I knew it was different, but I knew what to expect. You know, I told everybody when I went to WrestleMania, I looked around in the crowd at the Allegiant Stadium, and I said, "Damn, I'm gonna be fighting here in September." You know, and to see all those people, I started getting goosebumps, and I started getting nervous. I'm just like, man. And I was just sitting there with my kids, and I was like, man, this is dope. So when I got there, I already knew what to expect. I was in my element. I was comfortable the whole fight week because, like I said, it was destined. I kept saying that all week. I said, God don't make no mistakes. You know, it's a reason why I'm here. It's a reason why, you know, the promoter's been blocking me and shutting me out for years and saying all these bad things about me, and everybody was just, you know, trying to tarnish all my accomplishments. And I was just like, hey, listen, we here now. It's a reason why I'm here. And, you know, we gonna make it do what it do. Yeah. Simple.
So a lot of times, you know, recent, you've been related to Mayweather. Even Canelo came out and said, you know, you was a better fighter than Mayweather. You know, the world want to know, like, obviously, you in your prime, him in his prime. You feel like you could knock out Mayweather? What would be the outcome of that?
Man, listen, man. That's the GOAT. He one of the GOATs, man. Like, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Mayweather. You know, I would never compare myself to Mayweather. You know, like I said in the post interview, he the greatest in his era. I'm the greatest in my era. I don't understand why, especially our people, hate on Mayweather so much, and he's made so much history for us. You know, he paved the way for me to be where I'm at. You know, he motivated me in so many ways, you know, outside the ring, the work ethic, like just hard work, dedication that I can't even say, you know. So I don't know why a lot of people, well, most people always trying to tarnish his career or want me to be like, oh, I knocked Mayweather out, or always try to compare us to.
I think it's not necessarily about the hate, but more about in sports is comparables, right? That's something that I can attest to because when I first came into a league, there were no comparables. You were trying to be compared to a Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben Roethlisberger didn't really run how I ran. Oh, you're trying to compare yourself to a Michael Vick, but Michael Vick wasn't as big as I was, a girth. You know what I'm saying? I think really with you, you've accomplished so much, right? Do you think that you've done enough to be labeled the greatest?
I'm gonna say it like this, you know, I'm one of them. Like I said, you know, after I beat Canelo, you got to put me on Mount Rushmore. You know, I'm not gonna say I'm one, you know, or two. I'm gonna just say I'm up there. How everybody else rate me is gonna be how they rate me, you know. But I'm humble enough to say that I'm definitely up there. Yeah, you know, on that mountain.
No, for sure. I you know, we're getting to the latter part of everything, bro, and I want to thank you again. But I want to ask you this, because humble is not even the word that can describe you. Because when you see gestures and you see, tone and we're not used to seeing world champions that have what you have accomplished act in this type of manner. It's a couple questions, but number one, why did you feel that you needed to give him back his belts and Canelo? And what was going through your mind? And when was that moment that you clicked like, I want to give him back his belts?
No, because he is at the end of the day. Them his belts. I'm the champion. I took his titles. You know what I mean? But the belts go home with him. They're gonna give me new belts that belongs to me. So all in all, I wanted to be the one to personally hand him his belts, and thank him for the opportunity, because he didn't have to fight me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that something you always do? Every time you took somebody's belts, is that something that you normally do, giving back, or just the respect you have for him? It's like, nah, like.
For sure. If you watch, Errol Spence, I gave him his belts back as well. This is not the first time that this happened. When I took Ricky Burns' belts, I gave him his belt back. It's a sign of respect,
The one thing that we can relate to, bro, for good reasons, and some people would say for bad reasons, no matter what it is, it's a blessing. Man, we have a lot of kids, right? Do you feel the pressure, or have you felt the pressure to say, hey, I want my kids to box? Would you allow your kids to box?
Nah.
Really?
They nah. Football and boxing, them the two sports that I will not allow.
Explain.
I already told them. Too much head trauma. Like really in football, man, y'all get messed up worse than us. Yeah. CTE is a big.
Hey, no, that's real spiel though, because this is our out. And
yeah.
I had a conversation with my lady not too long ago, and we were at my son's football game, right? And you start seeing parents get so vested into something that the kids really are not into yet. You know what I'm saying? And it's two things. It's like they feel the pressure that I got a Bud Crawford right here. I got a Cam Newton right here. You know what I'm saying? And that's not healthy. But the discipline of sport is what is healthy and should be taught and should be learned. But when you look at the African American in this country, right? If in my hood where I came from, I didn't see doctors and lawyers and politicians and these type of individuals. I watched TV and I saw people playing football. And when somebody scored a touchdown, got to the last rectangle on the football field, which is obviously the end zone, people celebrated. And when my dad told me he played football, that's when I made that conscientious decision. I want to be just like my dad. I want to play football. Well, the reality of that is there's not a lot of options for us outside of being an athlete or, doing certain things that's going against the grain. And that's not to say that it's impossible to do. But when our people play sport, it's like, yo, you gotta make it. You know what I'm saying? And it's that undue pressure that you put on the kids. And with you and yours, it's like, what's the strategy with trying to become the best father, especially when you have to share yourself to the world while trying to be the best person that you could possibly be to your children?
Well, the reason why our community and our people is pushing those type of sports is because it was pushed on them. Mm-hmm. And they feel like they can't, make it anywhere else at times because of politics, but at the same time, we got to start, telling our kids it's okay to be a cop. It's okay to be a doctor. It's okay to be a judge. It's okay to, be a firefighter, because when we up against something, we always point the finger. Oh man, look at all these police officers. Look at all these police. But we don't tell our kids to grow up and be police officers. Oh man, the judge gave my man's 50 years. But we don't tell our kids, you should grow up and be a judge. Mm-hmm. So we always tell our kids when we're in the neighborhood, oh man, go play football or basketball or box. Them 3 sports. We don't tell our kids, hey man, go play tennis. Go play soccer. It's always football, basketball, or box.
Yeah.
You know, so we doing that to our own kids, you know. Me personally, I tell my kids, I boxed. I took all the damage,
the risk
for y'all.
Right.
So y'all can be something that I wasn't, you know. Y'all can be whatever y'all want. Y'all can go to any college, you know, y'all won't just do something different. Because boxing, it may look like that. It may look all glitter and glamour and all that, but your dad been through hell in the sport. Mm. And I would never want y'all to go through that ever in life. Ever. You know, I've been boxing for 30 years. I started when I was 7. 7 years old. And I'm 37 right now. About to be 38 next week. Been boxing all my life.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of people, they see, oh, he made it. Oh, he did it. Because now they just jumped on the bandwagon. But this a whole 30 years of working.
Yeah. Getting
knocked upside your head and millions of sit-ups and push-ups and, you know, dedication and, you know, focus and ups and downs. And, you know, like you go through a lot. And I'm like, you don't gotta do that. Like you can make it in life without sports. When you see a lot of these individuals, especially kids, they look at somebody and they say, oh, he made $1 million. Not knowing, yeah, he made $1 million, but he probably taking home 500,000. And by the time he get to buying a car or paying the house, he back broke. Now he got to figure it out. So many athletes go broke within the 5 years of, you know, they highest point.
Hello.
You know, and why? And why? Because we not teaching financial literacy in our community. We just teaching, go get the money. We not teaching them how to keep the money. We just teach them, go get the money. You know what I mean? And then when you see these people that's smart, they like, oh, I'm out the NFL. Let me, you know what I mean, go into real estate. Let me go into insurance companies. They making way more money off the field and off the court than they was when they was a pro athlete.
Yeah.
That's because they was taught, or they was taking business classes, how to keep money and how to make money instead of buying all these cars and jewelries and spending money at the clubs because they know, oh, I can spend this because I'm gonna get another check. But then if something happened and they get an injury and they hurt and they can't perform, now they kick them off the team. And now they like, damn, man, I should have kept that money because now I don't know what I'm gonna do. Duh, you was thinking that you was God and nothing could happen to you. But time and time again, history then showed us that it always repeats itself. No. Nobody is invincible. Everybody get injuries. Always think ahead. That's just me. And so I tell my kids, you know, always prepare for the worst. No matter what. I don't miss nothing with my kids. I don't care what I'm doing. If I'm training for Canelo. If you look, I had 3 birthdays. I'm leaving training camp. Yeah. I'm going to my birthdays, birthday parties. You know what I mean? We here.
What's your month? What month you got the most birthdays in?
March.
How many you got?
I got March 4th. I got March 4th, March 5th, March 14th.
Say less. Then, mine is February. June. I got February 3rd, February 17th, February 18th, and February 21st.
Well, that's cool because they all right there. You know what I mean? So I got 3. I knocked 3 off in March. You know what I mean? All right, all 3 of y'all gone. And in June, I got June. I got 2 birthdays in June. June 21st and June 28th.
Okay.
So it's a week.
Ooh.
So I had to go 1 week, go to camp, turn around next week.
Come on back.
You know what I mean?
Come on back.
Yeah. So it's cool though. You know what I mean? Like I love it. I love it because my dad wasn't there. You know what I mean? For me like that. And that bothered me and that hurt me. And I'm just like, man, my dad never had none of my birthdays, nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I always made it a point to be at anything that's valuable to my kids, national tournaments, national track meets, anything. So my kids, when they grow up, they're going to say, my dad was the world champion fighting all over the world. But one thing I can tell you is he never missed a birthday.
Yeah.
He never missed nothing that was important to us. He never missed no holidays. You know what I mean? Christmases and things like that. He always made it a point to be there with us when it mattered.
I mean, that's dope.
Yeah.
You got anything?
Yeah, I wonder real quick, because you talked about preparation and there's so much depth to you. And obviously we can see these through documentaries. We don't get to see as much of it in the ring. But you talk about preparation and you've been boxing for 30 years. And a lot of times, even with you know, athletes, they see you as, okay, football player, boxer. But after boxing, business-wise, or even if you're involved now, like what are some business things that you want to be involved in or want to pursue after the ring?
Man, it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of real estate already.
Hello.
You know what I mean? I've been having real estate for a long time.
Is this just in Nebraska?
You know, Nebraska, Colorado Springs, Kansas City. You know what I mean? Like I've been heavy in real estate for a long time. And I kind of want to be a developer. You know, I think I'm gonna go into that.
Construction?
You know? Yeah, man, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. You know, I got over 50 houses. I got apartment complexes. I got land. I got all that stuff. But developing, that's where it's at, man. I think that's what I do because I enjoy doing that.
Hey, that's what's up, bro.
We need to hear those stories for sure.
No, for real, because I think that one of the dopest things that people will kind of pass by is in our community, they teach you to go get the money, right? But this is what I got from that is like, they teach you to have the desire to gain the money. Peggy, stay with me.
I'm with you. I'm locked in with you.
But they ain't really teaching you how to sustain the money and maintain the money.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This my
It's crazy.
Go ahead.
It's crazy because it's funny because when I was with Top Rank, you know, a lot of people was always saying, man, he's broke, he's this and that and that and this. And I was getting paid good money. But I'm like, man, I don't have to box. Like, I can retire.
That's a flex.
Y'all box because y'all have to. I box because I love it.
Yeah.
You know, Canelo, he's just boxing because he won a bag. I'm like, bro, listen, I don't got to box. The bag, yeah, that's definitely, you know what I mean, tasty, you know, but at the same time, beating Canelo is going to be worth more than the bag, you know, at the end of the day, because I'm going to be talked about
forever.
When I'm dead and gone. 100 years, they're going to be like, man, you remember that kid from Omaha, Nebraska, Bud Crawford? He went up 2 divisions, matter of fact, 3 divisions and beat Canelo Alvarez. You know what I mean? My name is going to be wrong and talked about when I'm dead and gone. And that's what legacy is about. You know, a lot of people don't understand that because they don't want to take the risk. You know, I said in the build-up, big risk, big reward. And we here now.
Yeah. Man, this is my last question, but not even gonna cap to you. If you want to give a percentage of what your score was to me, it was a 97.5. Why the 2.5? This is the only issue that I had with you, brother. You done had some iconic stage entrances or ring entrances, and you done had, obviously the greats of like the Eminem and all this and that. Who came up with the with that we seen Saturday and the whole thought process of the band playing and like what we had going on, bro?
That was fire. That was a beautiful thing. That was dope. All right, so
break it down.
This is how it all came about.
Okay.
It's Mexican Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
I got a big Mexican following. Big Mexican following. My teammate, my brother, was like, I got your outfit. And I was like, all right, he made my last 4 outfits. I trust you. Do your thing. I ain't gonna worry about it. He was like, you want to know what it is? He said, I already got it in my head. I was like, all right, what? He was like, Desperado. I'm like, the movie? He like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like, the one with the guitar case?
Yeah.
He was like, that's what we're going to do. I like, all right, cool. So he played the song. And when he played the song, I hit my childhood friend up. That's an artist, Rosendo. So I said, hey, you know this song? And he started singing it. And I'm like, I want you to walk out to me, with me to it. He was like, for real? I want you to walk out, and perform it. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna work on it. And he was like, I gotta work on it. I gotta work on it. I was like, all right, well, you work on it. And he was just like, for real, no lie. Cause he used to box with me. We used to box together and stuff like we little kids. But he stopped boxing. He went into music and all that stuff. So that's why I say it was beautiful all around. I got my day one performing, walking me out.
That's real.
My brother, he the one that designed the outfit along with Off-White and Everlast, and it was a historical moment. It was a historical night.
Hey, bro. I don't know if you can see that because of the white contrast. I went back and adjusted the scope to 100%. You dig what I'm saying? Because hey, that's dope right now.
Had to push him up, bro.
Hey, what I'm saying?
He perfect like his record now.
I'm sorry, bro. Let me
put some respect on his name.
You know what I'm saying? Let me give you 100. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think those type of stories, bro, like we get so enamored about, this or that, or we only see what the media shows us from the cell phone footage to what Netflix has done or what they show or whatever. But these stories, who would have ever thought Desperado?
Facts. He dug in his grocery bag for that one.
Like real talk, bro. Like that's man, bro, I can't say this enough, man. First and foremost, bro, what you mean to us is the person that gives us hope, bro. And not a lot of times, like you have a situation that has so much magnitude. And I like Canelo. I like boxing as a whole, but this fight was a little bit different than just an average prize fight. You were literally creating a difference in ethnic groups. There's not a lot of times that has happened. And it's not because if it's a hate thing, it's just like, yo, I'm going with my people. Yeah. And I was at a football game earlier that day and everybody was talking about, hey man, you going with Bud? Man, you going with Canelo? No, man, I ain't going with Canelo, bro. I'm going with everybody that's black. And that type of dynamic, bro, in the words of my mom, way more people see you than you see them. And dog, I want you to walk, bro, for the whether we see you fight ever again. Terence, Bartholomew Crawford, AKA Bud, nigga, thank you, bro. Yeah, appreciate you because you're doing it the right way, man. You ain't with all the rah-rah and all the antics and the semantics. And I'm over here peeping you. I'm like, this nigga got on an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like we're not used to seeing this in this sport. And bro, like that really makes me, appreciate you the more because you're writing your own narrative. It's like, man, I ain't gotta do that, bro. I ain't gotta, and I thank you for that, bro. Appreciate your time, man. Enjoy your family, enjoy this win. And bro, happy birthday.
Yes.
You know, and I just hope that, you know, people can appreciate what you really did for us. Mm-hmm. And even with this interview, because you gave so much insight, so much perspective. And yes, dog, congratulations.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me, man.
Yes, sir.
But before, even when we talk about congratulations and showing you love in your legendary career thus far, we heard that your hometown is doing a parade for you. And so we want to talk about that parade. Tell us a little bit about that and what that feels and means for your legacy.
Man, it's dope. You know, they having a parade a day before my birthday, next week on the 27th. You know, and the first parade they had for the Errol Spence fight. And it was just, man, it was electrifying. And it's like, man, I don't know. It's hard to explain because, you know, you see them NFL players when they win a Super Bowl and they city throw them a parade and there's thousands and thousands of people. That's how it is in Omaha.
Yeah.
And for my city to celebrate me, you know, and show their appreciation, you know, like I rep them every fight on my trunks, and it's all about Omaha, Nebraska, where I'm from, you know. Man, it's like, it's heartwarming.
That's dope, bro. That's dope, bro. Well, it's all love on this side, champ. We appreciate you, brother. Anytime you want to stop in for 4th and 1, man, we'd love to have you, bro. Best of love and luck to you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.